The old safe house was quiet, but Clark hadn't closed his eyes once. He sat in a crooked chair by the window, staring through the thin slice of curtain. Every shadow looked like a gun barrel, every headlight a funeral car. Diane dozed on the couch, her sleep shallow, muttering once before going still. Then Clark thought of Emily, the lake, the ducks, her laugh in the sunlight. That memory had kept him upright through 100 dirty nights, but tonight it felt brittle, like glass under too much weight. He could almost hear Sandro's voice in his head, not because he knew for sure, but because Vince had warned him the word was spreading fast. It was Clark's own fear echoing back at him, not Sandro himself. He could almost imagine Matteo's voice, too, loud and angry for having taken his daughter. The city would not forgive him for either. As the night dragged on, the rain finally stopped. The darkness eased only slightly, the sky fading to a dull gray but still holding the weight of night. Clark stood, stretched stiff muscles, and turned back to Diane. She blinked awake, eyes cloudy, then sharpened when she saw his face.
You didn't sleep?
I wasn't planning on it. Not tonight, kid.
Neither side's going to stop. You know that, right?
I know. That's why we gotta keep moving.
But where can we go?
Someplace I can ask questions. Someplace where people still owe me answers.
You don't trust me yet, do you?
Clark let the silence hang, then said quietly,
Trust isn't cheap, but I'm still listening.
And if I tell you more, how do I know you won't trade me back to them?
Because I've seen what they do to kids, and I won't let that happen to you.
She swallowed, studying him.
You sound like you mean it.
I do. But meaning it and surviving it aren't the same thing.
They left the safe house in the Chevy. Leo's body was still in the trunk, dead weight in every sense. Clark knew it couldn't stay there forever, but he wasn't ready to decide what to do with it. Not yet. He caught Vince's words echoing in his mind.
You know, someone will find it, sooner or later.
The city felt different now. Streets washed clean by rain, but heavier somehow. Like the air itself carried whispers. Clark drove through side streets, avoiding major roads. He could feel eyes somewhere, but none he could see. Finally, he pulled into a diner on the edge of Brooklyn. It was the kind of place no one asked questions if you ordered coffee and kept your head down. Diane slid into the booth across from him, pulling her hoodie tight. A waitress poured burnt coffee into their cups and shuffled off.
This flash drive, you're sure it exists?
Yes, it exists.
And you're sure it's got Richie and Casa both on it?
She nodded.
Where my father is paranoid. Always has been. One night, I snuck past his study and saw him plug it in, whispering names I half recognized from dinners. Richie men, shady accounts, numbers I didn't fully understand. I only caught pieces, but enough to know it was real. He hit it quick, like it was the only thing that truly mattered to him.
Clark rubbed his jaw.
Then we need to find out where he keeps it hidden.
Diane hesitated.
That's the thing. He moves it. Always. A safe house one week, his office the next. But he's careful. He only trusts a few places.
Clark's eyes narrowed.
Which places?
Before she could answer, Clark's phone buzzed. Vince.
Yeah, Vince?
You alive?
Barely.
Where are you?
Clark hesitated, then said quietly.
Brooklyn Diner, off Flatbush.
Good. Don't move. I'm coming to you.
I don't think that's smart.
Neither is what you're doing. I'll see you in a few.
Vince arrived 20 minutes later, sliding into the booth with the weariness of a man carrying too many secrets. His eyes flicked to Diane, then back to Clark.
Christ. So it's true. You've got her.
Clark didn't flinch.
She told me about a flash drive. Evidence that could bury both families.
Vince's face stayed flat, but his eyes gave him away. He knew something. Maybe not everything, but enough. Clark blinked, caught off guard.
You knew about this?
Vince's stare hardened, lips pressed thin, like he'd rather Clark hadn't said it out loud. He hesitated, then shook his head slightly.
Not details, just whispers. Mateo guarding something tighter than his own skin. Never knew if it was rumor or not. Until now.
Clark's gaze sharpened.
So, where is it?
Vince leaned back, scanning the diner like he could see threats in the clinking of forks.
That's the million-dollar question, and I might have an answer.
Diane stiffened.
You know where it is?
Not exactly.
Vince shifted, hesitating, his gaze finally locking on Clark.
I've been watching Mateo a long time. I've got people who whisper things, little pieces. Enough to make me think he keeps his most sensitive business in a high-rise downtown.
Clark leaned in.
Sensitive like what?
Vince rubbed his jaw, reluctant.
Private floor. Guards that only answer to him. No paper trails. If that drives anywhere, it's there.
That's a hell of a claim. You sure you're not sending me into a trap?
Vince gave a thin smile.
If I wanted you dead, you'd already be very dead, my friend.
Clark's hand tightened on his cup.
That doesn't answer the question, Vince.
Vince shrugged.
It's the best I've got.
Diane leaned forward.
How do we even get near it? You think we can just walk in?
No, of course not. But I know shifts, blind spots, places men like me pay attention to.
You've been sitting on this? Why tell me now, of all nights?
Vince hesitated, glancing away before meeting Clark's eyes again.
You think I wanted this? Clark, I never knew you'd drag it this far. I've been walking on a razor for years, feeding both sides just enough, keeping the balance. Enough so they didn't burn the city down. Enough so you didn't end up in a ditch when you got too close to the fire.
Clark's eyes went cold.
Damn it, you've been using me.
Vince flinched, then steadied.
I've been protecting you. Half the time Sandro talked about letting you go, it was me who calmed him down. Do you really think you lasted this long on luck?
So what now? You want the drive too?
Kid, I don't want it. I want it gone. If it surfaces, both families burn this city to the ground trying to survive. But if it disappears quietly, maybe we all keep breathing.
Clark studied him.
And you're telling me this out of friendship?
I'm telling you this because the second Sandro knows you killed Leo, your name's done. And Mateo?
Vince glanced at Diane, then back.
Mateo will break the world apart to get her back. The only play left is to make them bleed each other. Let them clash. While they're busy, we move on the high-rise.
Diane looked between them, her face pale but determined.
And if we get the drive?
Vince's expression was hard.
Then maybe you buy your daughter one more tomorrow, Clark. That's all any of us ever get.
They left the diner as the night city streets buzzed with restless traffic, the darkness still heavy. No hint of dawn yet. Clark kept his head down. Vince walked with them, close but watchful, as though he expected a bullet at any second. At the Chevy, Clark hesitated. Vince noticed.
Is that Leo's body?
Clark gave a tight nod.
You can't carry that weight forever. Sooner or later, someone finds it. And then, you're done.
Clark didn't answer. He slid behind the wheel, Diane beside him, Vince in the back. Vince's gaze lingered on Clark in the rear view, as if an idea was forming he wasn't ready to share. The night pressed down on them, heavy and unrelenting. Clark drove, Vince gave directions, and Diane stayed quiet, her father's shadow still hanging in the air. Each mile felt like a step closer to a cliff edge they couldn't avoid. Clark gripped the wheel, thinking of Emily. Her laugh by the lake, the pizza waiting for him at home. He didn't know if he could save Diane. He didn't know if Vince's plan would hold. But he knew one thing. Before this night was over, he had to keep his daughters safe. Across the city, on Emily's block, a car was parked under a broken streetlight. The watchers Vince promised were there, But another pair of eyes lingered in the dark. Vince's protection wasn't gone, but cracks were starting to show. The promise of safety was already slipping away. And in this city, that meant someone else wouldn't make it.